Welcome to the Pressure Beast Podcast.
You can't fake a good radiograph.
All right, welcome back, Pressure Beasters. We got a special lady with us, Jacqueline. She'll be joining us today and more frequently as we go forward. But today we got a topic about the whole subject about how it's more expensive to buy stuff today than it was back in the 80s. Jackie, you came up with an interesting number. What would you say it was?
The mortgage rate in 1982 was 16.06%.
16.062%.
It went 82.
1982.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's can you imagine the amount of crying we would be doing today if our mortgage rate was 16%?
I don't know. I mean, that was the year before I was born, so I don't know how bad it was then. Like,
it was pretty bad.
and so the first couple of years of life, I really didn't care about the interest rate. So
You weren't really computing on the calculator back then.
I wasn't. No, it was a.
So you hear this theory about everything's more expensive nowadays, right? Especially like Gen Zs and the millennials and stuff. They're always talking about how the boomers and stuff had it great back in the day, right? Well, I have a different take on that. I don't think it's as spread out as it is portrayed. And the reason I say that is, right, if you take the median square foot of a house back in the 80s, right? And what you're doing is you're taking a very smaller house and comparing a price comparison against the median house of today's square footage, which is almost double to triple the size. So if you just use a conversation to where you're taking the value of the house per percentage of your wage coming in, so if it was like, just say 30% of your wage back in the 80s and it's 70% of your wage today, right? I'm just throwing out numbers. They're saying this is so much more expensive, right? But if you were to go back and recalculate what is a square foot, or a house of a square footage equal to the square footage back then, I bet you that ratio then tapers out and you've got a more realistic inflationable number that we can relate to where it's not that far out of whack.
Probably. But if you take the premise, the philosophy of back then, you could live, an entire family could live off of one income, house, car, food, the wife stays at home, and be just fine. And to do that now, you'd have to make up into the 180s plus in order to do that. And I think that's part of the issue with the whole inflation and everything else is you can't survive off of what people survived off of in the 80s. And I'm not talking about, say, money-wise. I'm talking about a single job, a small family. You know, family of four can't live off a single income anymore.
What's your take?
That's true. I mean, historically, inflation, it's around 2.9% annually. So, you know, you're right. Probably, you know, what we're comparing here is pretty comparable, you know. I'll have to run those numbers. I'll let y'all know
Run the
later.
numbers on this, though, because if you think about it, right, it's just, you would have to strip it down and do an apples-to-apples comparison. I just think it's going to be closer than what everyone portrays it to be, right? Let's take, for instance, now, right? Everyone's going out and buying hot lattes, you know. At
You got a latte?
Yeah, it's a latte.
I just got black coffee, man. What the hell?
Put a little sweet milk in there, man. Makes your morning better.
Leave that one alone.
No, we're babysitting those. I already drank both my cups this morning.
But you know, look, we got cell phones that are $800. We got subscriptions. We got I mean, we have more toys and apps and cost today than we did back then, right? There was no internet. There was no Uber. There was no all these other little items that are just sucking the money out of your bank account. It was just living. You went to the grocery store, you bought your food, you came home, you cooked it, right? You rarely ever went out to eat. People go out to eat on a weekly basis nowadays, right? You know, I mean, Dad, tell me the last time a family sat around a dinner table. You know what I mean? Very rare.
Every night at my house.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Like
But-
literally at the dinner table?
Most nights, yeah. That's the way my wife grew up, and
Yeah.
that's something that she's diehard about. And every once in a while, the kids and I'd be like, "Can we just eat at the living room, eat on the couch, you know, watch TV?" But no, I'd say 5 out of 7 nights we eat at the dinner table.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is cool. Well, you bought a house recently, within the last, year or so?
I did. It was last year.
And you ever get settled in?
You know, I still have about 4 boxes I haven't unpacked.
Really? Probably be the next 4 boxes for the next 4 years.
At least. Although, you know, to be honest, when we were packing up the other house, there was stuff that I had an impact from, the time we moved there.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know. There's no saying.
You know my philosophy. If you don't use it in a year, just throw it away because you really don't need it.
That's true.
I've done that before. I've like, I haven't opened this box in 6 years, and it's in the garage, and I'm like cleaning out the garage. I'm like, I don't even open it. I throw it away. And then it's, Murphy's Law, like 6 months later, it'd be like, it's in the box I threw away.
Right.
And then, it's like, but
Exactly.
I always wonder what was in that box.
Or
A
that
head.
would be a
It's a severed head. It's always a severed head.
I put those on the wall.
Do you?
So I don't know. Interest rates are pretty interesting. With the federal government shutdown, and they didn't get the reports and all that, and then we didn't get the Federal Reserve's didn't have the data and all that. So they're supposed to have another drop this month in the interest rate that we're hoping to see, but
Yeah.
that'll give some relief.
We'll see how that affects the mortgage rate. I've been watching it for a while
Have you?
because it was pretty bad last year, and it makes a big difference. Seeing how the last time I refinanced, I got 2.75%. So
And that's-
back in 2021. Yeah.
Right, and then why would you? It's a difficult decision to decide to sell your house when you got a 2 point something mortgage, and you're going to walk into a higher mortgage of probably around 5 to 8 to 10%. Doesn't really motivate you to want to buy another house or move unless it's absolutely required. You know what I mean, so to speak. Excuse me.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's all going to be fixed. We're going to go to war with Venezuela. It's going to be a short war, but it'll spur the economy just enough to bring those interest rates down and just in time for.
Well, the kicker is they're not going to be able to move the interest rates down if the inflation continues to tick up. So as long as it continues, that's the battle, right? So if the inflation's ticking up, they got to raise the interest rate.
Right.
They can't lower the interest rate if the inflation's ticking up. Otherwise, we get runaway inflation. So I'd hate to be a Fed guy at the moment, but I'm glad they're there to do their job, and hopefully they do it well. Doesn't seem like they do it well, but
It's just a bunch of nerds playing politics with other people's money.
Right.
What it comes down to.
Right.
It's all artificial.
Someone tapping numbers.
Right.
And-
bean counters.
Yeah, that's it. Look at us talking about finance first thing in the morning.
All right.
I'm so proud of us.
I tell you, man, makes the rest of the day rock on.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
It's better than the other conversations we're having this morning. But
Goodness.
well, that was a interesting thing. So that might be a topic for another later.
that might be a topic we need to dive into.
I think we should, yes.
All right, that'll be for another episode. But anyway, hit that like button. Please subscribe. Be our only subscriber. You'd be lonely out there, but we'll find you some friends. But until then, peace.